the extra timing that has been a little bit missed. So Maulana, you can carry on maybe that extra 10 minutes or so if everyone is fine, inshallah. You can just give us thumbs up in the chat column, the participants, please. Shukran. Maulana, your audio is off.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على سيدنا ونبينا مولانا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وبارك وسلم وصلي عليه. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Apologize for coming up late to some work commitments. Inshallah, without any delay, as we have started, or I think so it perhaps might a month or two, I've come online, and we have started with the conditions of Salah. And when we are talking about the conditions of Salah, we mentioned about the first, one of the first conditions of Salah is Tahara. So we talked about cleanliness, and we said that Tahara is the Tahara of the body, Tahara of the clothes, Tahara of the place. And then in the previous lesson, what we have covered was that we covered the najasa, the impurities, the different types of impurities, as well as how to cleanse oneself if someone has a certain type of impurity. So this evening, inshallah, we will start with wudu. So the first thing is, if we look at the word wudu, what is the meaning of wudu? So according to the Arabic dictionary, when we talk about wudu, then the word wudu in the dictionary meaning means an-nadafa, which means cleanliness, or to purify oneself. Wanandara, an-nadara means freshness, and diya means light. So the word wudu has various meanings according to the dictionary. The first one is cleanliness, the next one is freshness, and the third one is light. And if you take the word wudu with a dhamma, or a what we say generally a pesh on the waw, that is the wudu, and that is ablution, is how we translate. And if we take water of wudu, so wudu is the ablution, and wudu is the water for the ablution. So according to Sharia, wudu is to wash or to cleanse those parts, those certain parts which the Quran had mentioned. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Holy Quran, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu idha kumtum ila salati faghsilu wujuhakum wa aydiyakum ila al-marafiq wamsahu bi ru'usikum wa arjulakum ila al-ka'bayn. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, oh, those who believe, when you establish your salah, the first thing you have to do is to wash your face, to wash your hands, till, including your elbow, and wamsahu bi ru'usikum, you need to make the first thing is, in regards to the conditions of wudu, it is to be a Muslim. So if a kafir performs wudu and embraces Islam, his wudu will not suffice. Only when he becomes a Muslim, and then only his wudu will be intact. The next thing is al-aql. Aql means to be sound mind. a person must be sound mind. For example, if a person becomes insane for a moment, or if he is intoxicated or person is insane, at that point in time, he makes wudu, in that wudu will not be accepted. So the first condition is he must be Muslim. The second one must be he must be sound mind. The third is that he should not be having anything on his skin which is such as a greasy substance or anything which prevents the water from reaching the skin. For example, when we talk about the fat, grease, paint, glue, any ointments which prevent the water from reaching the skin, then wudu will not be correct until those substance or those ointments which he got on his body should be removed. And also it is mentioned regarding that, for example, if someone has a splinter, or a thorn which had pierced his skin, and if that splinter or that thorn which had pierced his skin, it should be removed. If it is not removed, that means the place where the water is supposed to reach had not reached, then his wudu will not be accepted. So it is important for the it is important to ensure that one removes, even if it is splint, and then after that he should wash that part of his body. So the first is Islam. The second condition of wudu is to be sound mind. The third is that one should remove all those things which prevents the water from reaching the skin. The third is, the fourth is to use mutlaq water. What is mutlaq water? That is pure, clean water. The next condition is those people who are da'imul hadath. So what is da'imul hadath? Da'imul hadath is those people who cannot keep their hudu. For example, someone has a urine problem, and as a result, we find that many times, especially the older people, they cannot control the urine, and all the time the urine is coming out from their bladder. And we find that sometimes some people have a gas problem. So as a result, they cannot keep their wudu. So for those people, we call them da'imul hadath, and for them, it is necessary for them to make wudu just closer to the time of salah. And when they make the wudu for that salah, that wudu will stay intact, even if the droplets of the urine comes out, or if the wind comes out because of a illness or disorder in their body. It will be fine for them to read the salah or read Quran with the very same wudu. Yes, if, for example, if someone has a wind problem and he cannot stop the wind, in that case, if he goes to the toilet to urinate, then obviously we have to make wudu again. But for example, he made his wudu, for example, the time for Zohar Salah entered, he made his wudu and he performed his Zohar Salah. And after performing his Zohar Salah, his wind came out, and in such a case, the wind came out, and then he wants to read Quran. In that case, he can still read Quran because of a illness, because that is the problem which he has. But if he needed to go urinate and he has only a wind problem, not a urination problem, then he has to go and make wudu, renew his wudu, and then he can perform Quran. So the person who has such kind of illnesses, his wudu he can only make the wudu when the time of that salah enters. For example, he cannot make wudu of Salatul Zohar before time. Only when the time of Salatul Zohar enters, then he will make wudu, perform his Zohar. His wudu will remain till the next Salah. As soon as Asr time enters, then his wudu will break. Automatically his wudu will break, he will renew his wudu. So that is what we call da'imul hadath. So regarding the fara'id of wudu, those things which are compulsory for one to wash, as I've read the ayah in the Holy Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions about those aspects which is compulsory for us to wash. So according to the Shafi'i madhab, we have 6 fara'id. The first one is a niyyah. So what is a niyyah? The first is the intention. So when do we make this intention? Unfortunate, many of us, including myself, when we went to the madrasas when we were younger, many of our teachers were Hanafi scholars. So the Hanafi scholars, they have basically mixed some of the aspects of the Hanafi fiqh with the Shafi fiqh. According to us, the time when one should make his intention for fard of wudu, that will be at the time of washing the face, and not at the time when one begins his wudu to wash his hands. So let's just first mention those things or those aspects which are compulsory according to the Shafi'i madhab regarding the wudu. The first thing is your niyyah, your intention. The next thing is washing the face. The third is to wash your hands from the, including your uh, elbow. Uh, the fourth is to make masa of the head. The fifth is to wash the feet, including the ankle. And the sixth one is tartib, meaning to do all these compulsory acts in order. So when we basically start our wudu, the first thing what we do, we wash our hands till our wrist. That washing of the hands from the fingertips to the wrist, that is considered to be sunnah. So the washing of the hand from the fingertip to the wrist is sunnah. So at that point in time, you can say you can say nawaitu sunnat al wudu. I'm making maintaining the sunnah of wudu. So you wash your hand till your wrist. Then you will gargle your mouth and the rinsing of the nose. These three are considered to be sunnah of wudu. The first starts now. So when one person once who is performing his wudu, now at this juncture, after he gargles his mouth and rinses his nose, then he's going to start with his face. So when he starts with his face, then he must say nawaitu faddal wudu li rafil hadas wa li istibahati salah, that he needs to make the intention of fard of wudu to remove the impurities and to perform salah. So on this, just on this point of the niyyah, for example, I make my niyyah at that juncture of washing my face, and suddenly I make a niyyah that, oh Allah, I'm making wudu to read Quran. So if I make wudu to read Quran, with that very same wudu, I'm not allowed to read salah. Yes, if I made wudu to remove impurity or to perform salah, I'm able to read Quran with that very same wudu. So once again, it is important for you to make your niyyah that, oh Allah, I am making wudu to remove the impurity, and at the same time I'm making wudu to perform salah. So whether you you read your salah, you read Quran or any other thing, that wudu will be intact. But if I have to only make intention for reading Quran, I cannot read salah. So that is important. So at the time when we are washing our face, at that juncture, at that point in time, we will make our intention of the fard of wudu, nawaitu fard al wudu, li rafil hadath wa li istibahati salah, and then we will wash our face. So, so Imam An-Nawawi rahmatullah alayhi in Al-Majmu'ah, he mentions that if someone has an injury on the face, if someone has an injury on the face, and at that point in time he cannot put water upon that, so in that case he should not make that niyyah at that juncture. Then he should go to the next limb, and that is the washing of the hand from the fingertips to including the elbow. At that juncture, then you will make this niyyah. If he has such a injury on the face where no water can come upon his face, in that juncture he will delay the niyyah till when he's washing the hand. So that is in regard to the niyyah. So it is important to know the niyyah, when to read the niyyah. Yes, according to the Hanafi Madhab, they will read it from when they begin and they open the tab, they can make the niyyah. But according to the Shafi'i Madhab, you will not make that niyyah of fard of wudu before. You will only make the niyyah at the time of washing the face. I know many of us went to madrasa and we were not taught in such a manner. We were taught that no, you make your niyyah. Many of the things what we currently practice is mixed up with the Hanafi fiqh. So the next thing is washing of the face, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, فَغْسِلُوا وُجُوهَكُمْ. So in regards to the face, we need to wash the entire face from the earlobe to the earlobe, and then likewise the from the where the hair starts to below the chin. So this entire part needs to be washed. So if someone has a thick beard, then it is sufficient just to put water upon the visible parts of the beard. But if someone has a very light beard where the skin is visible, in that case he needs to ensure that the water reaches the skin. So that is regards to the face. So how do we start off? So the ulama or the Shafi scholars have said, when we are starting with the washing of the face, the first thing is that we need to start from the top going downwards. We start from the top going downwards, ensuring that every part, including in the fiqh books, it is mentioned about even these parts here around the eyelids, etc., needs to be clean, and so it needs to be washed. So thereafter comes the fard of the washing of the hands. And as I mentioned, in the conditions of wudu, we need to ensure that every thing which prevents the water from reaching our skin should be removed. So many a time, sometimes we find within our fingertips, we find that there is some impurity, some dirt. We need to ensure that the dirt is removed, because what happens is that the water is prevented from reaching the skin. And if the water is prevented from reaching the skin, which is under our finger nails, then what happens is that the wudu will not be considered to be correct. So, meaning one does not have wudu in such a case. So, one must ensure that his nails are trimmed and clean at the same time. So, one will start from the fingertips again and going down towards the elbow, ensuring every part of that is washed. So, for example, if someone, the person hand is amputated, then in that case it is mentioned that if the hand is amputated right up till the wrist, then it is compulsory still for the person to wash his hand. He needs to wash his hand, uh, the rest of the part of the hand, including the elbow. So if someone's wrist is amputated, then in that case, he will wash. It is compulsory for him to wash the rest part of the hand. Yes, but if someone's hand is amputated more than the wrist, so meaning might somewhere here, if it is amputated from here and he only got that part, then it is recommended for him to wash the rest of the part, but it's not compulsory. So that is in regards to the washing of the hands. Then when we're talking about the masa, when you're talking about the masa of the forehead, then according to the Shafi'i madhab, if few strands are wet, that is sufficient. I know according to the Hanafi madhab, at least a quarter of the head needs to be, one needs to make masah. But if one does it full, it is much more greater and it is mustahab to do the entire head. But according to the Shafi'i madhab, the third part is at least a portion of the hair should be washed. Some said three, some books have mentioned 3 strands, but at least a portion should, one should make masah of the head. Then coming to the feet, likewise the feet, we start from the toes going up towards the ankle, so it must be the ankle including and about little above the ankle to ensure that the third part is completed. There was some things which I have seen, Brother Samir, regarding, for example, if someone has a cast or bandage, but I don't know, I think so it's going to take much more time, but inshallah hope to discuss that, because it's a bit of a lengthy thing regarding if someone has a cast or a bandage. So how does one make wudu? Does is it allowed to just wash the other parts and leave that part? There's quite a discussion regarding this here. Inshallah, I will discuss this on another time because of the time. Yes, Brother Samir.
Okay, no, Jazakallah, thanks to Maulana. And like I said, I apologize again to the participants, and I also apologize to Maulana for calling so many times. But Jazakallah to Maulana for still making himself available.
I thought it was 7:30, and I thought I came early. Maaf about that.
Okay, so I think most probably I was just asking earlier, we'll most probably consider changing the times because the season is also changing. But we obviously got the concern of load shedding, but we'll check along as we go. So like Maulana says, Alhamdulillah, there's so much to learn about the making of wudu on its own. Most of us, when we went to madrasa, exactly what Maulana said, we never had the knowledge that's available today, if I put it that way. And it's never too late to learn. And I thank Maulana for bringing this topic back up. And just as a reminder, again, we are doing classes for the younger children on Saturdays, so whoever can send the children, come and join, inshallah khair. And we'll continue with this topic, like Maulana said, for a while until we cover what we feel is sufficient enough. And then maybe one day with Maulana's assistance, we'll do something practical as well, inshallah khair. So Jazakallah to Maulana again, Jazakallah to all the participants. Until next week,
just 1 minute.
Ji.
If anyone has any questions regarding this evening, you can send it to Samir or myself, if those who got my number, and I can perhaps explain that much more clearer.
Okay, 100%. I'll send Maulana's number also on the group, inshallah khair. Okay, shukran to everyone. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Shukran. Wa alaikum assalam.